I got to ask you this. When I look at Kansas City, and I said this on numerous occasions over the last week, although I picked Kansas City to win, and I'm not surprised at all that Patrick Mahomes is the MVP, I said to myself it would actually be better for the game of football if San Francisco won.
Yeah.
Because there's somebody to knock off Kansas City. We know they lost to Brady a couple of years ago in Tampa Bay when he had no offensive line. He was running for his life. He spent Super Bowl running for his life. But for the most part, obviously, it's 3 Super Bowl titles in 5 years. We know what Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the crew bring to the table. I said, if San Francisco beats them, then you've got somebody in Purdy with Debo, with Christian McCaffrey, with Kyle Shanahan that obviously slayed the dragon.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, where do you go from here? They're young, Kansas City I'm talking about. They're young, they're physical defensively. They've got athletes. They put a hat on you. They're exceptionally well coached by Steve Spagnuolo. And then on the offensive side of the ball, they spent the season leading the league in drop passes. And you still end up winning the Super Bowl championship without a Tyreek Hill, without the luxury of a guy that helped you win a Super Bowl before, or somebody literally like DeAndre Hopkins or somebody else. You don't have those dudes, and you still win the Super Bowl. What hope is there for the National Football League? I know it's parity. I know that it's competitive. Any given Sunday, injuries can happen. But all things being equal in terms of health, what hope is there that somebody's going to knock off Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and these boys the way they're looking?
Yeah, it's going to come down to, look, the thing that will give other teams a lot of hope is if Andy were to retire or leave in the next 2-3 years, something, God forbid, I don't even want to say, but somehow 15 ain't on the field.
Right.
But otherwise, Brett Veach and Andy Reid are like this when it comes to understanding what the team needs, the kind of players that they want, and what they can ultimately get out of them. So that's not going to change for the foreseeable future. What you hope is that, what the hope has to be is in the most crucial moments, it's not about necessarily physical skill against Patrick. It's about not committing the dumb mistakes that allow him time to figure stuff out, because you're going to figure it out. You have to beat him more so with smart football than by necessarily being, great athletes, okay? Because, look, New England beat him because, look what happened. New England didn't make mistakes. Like, let's say go back to his AFC title game where Tom Brady beat him when Frank Clark jumps off sides, right?
Right.
You have to hope almost that you play smart football and let them make the mistakes. Let them beat themselves. But you can't commit dumb penalties. You can't commit errors like you have in terms of touching the football and punt return team and giving them the ball in plus territory. You can't do that. So that's your hope. You better get with it up here, even more so than on the field. Because San Francisco, man for man, 1-2-53, most football people will tell you, you don't have to be a football person. That's a more talented team. They would tell you that. They would tell you that Baltimore was a team that they were like, man, this is going to be a war now.
Right.
We don't know how we're going to come up out of this. But you know what gave them hope? The fact that Andy is there and Pat is there. So as long as you have those two, you always are going to put doubt into the opponent's eyes, no matter how good they are.
Who do you give the best chance to knock them off in both the AFC and the entire league?
You know what? There's one cat in the entire league who mentally can compete on par with Patrick and can raise the level of the people around him the same way Patrick can.
And who is that?
That's Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
That's Joe Burrow. That's the only guy for me. The only guy. And he has proven. See, Joe Burrow,
because he beat him.
Just like Patrick is in everyone else's head, Joe Burrow was in Kansas City's head. Okay? That's a fact. Since he was driving this team crazy now, and when he comes back, he's really the one guy right now that is there with him. Because
he's unflappable.
Since he's going to be a problem.
Anybody in the NFC? Because right now, I looked at San Francisco, the way they played defense yesterday, but I said to myself, you know something? Let me look at the rest. If Detroit ran the ball more in the second half, San Francisco ain't even there.
Yeah, that's true.
Matthew Stafford. I'm not willing to tell you that Brock Purdy is better than Matthew Stafford. And Puka Nacua, and the stud that he's proven to be just as a rookie. I think the Rams have a tremendous upside. I'm wondering about teams in the NFC. Anybody in the NFC?
Oh, yeah. Look, Detroit will take another leg up. They will. Detroit's going to be there for a while now. And don't count San Francisco out. Because, Purdy came back from an injury that no other quarterback has ever come from as a second-year Mr. Irrelevant guy.
Right.
You think he's not going to continue to get better? He hasn't plateaued. He's going to get better. San Fran will continue to be there. John Lynch and them are too good as far as finding players. Detroit is going to be there. And the Rams, look, I was texting with Sean McVay the other day. He was like, man, this is killing me not being in this game.
Right.
And you know they're going to be exceptionally well coached too. So, yeah, there's a couple teams in it in the NFC. There's a couple teams in it in the AFC. But Joe Burrow, it's not like they're in it. They're right there. They're right there with KC, and they can beat them at any. That's the only team that I feel as though that quarterback is saying, hey, yo, for what you do, I can do. For what you do, I can do. And I'll tell you who Kansas City fears. Kansas City fears Buffalo.
I was getting ready to bring up Josh Allen.
Kansas City fears Buffalo because they say, the people down there will tell you that Josh Allen scares them, man. They know that they cannot, like Patrick has to raise it like to another level because of what Josh Allen can do.
Well, my last question to you is, you didn't say the league MVP, Lamar Jackson.
You know what? I'm talking about like right now. Okay, so, and you know I love Lamar.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm wondering, look, here's the next level for Lamar, right? The next level for Lamar, and he's taking his game up levels every year.
Yeah.
The next level now is for him and Todd Monken to be on the same page to where they don't have the kind of like brain lapses like they had against Kansas City where they start forgetting who they are.
Right.
That Lamar starts forgetting who he is. Like Todd Monken got to tell him, Lamar, in the middle of this game, Lamar, you got to go. You got to go now. We can't be holding it in the pocket. And he got to tell Todd Monken, hey, look, we got to run the rock here. What are you doing? Why are we dropping me back, keeping me in the pocket? Because Patrick will tell Andy that. And Joe Burrow will tell the coaches in Cincinnati that. That's the next level for him. Because you got to be at that level in order to match what ultimately Kansas City can do, even when it ain't going good for him.